Is the Lenovo Vibe K5 Note still worth it? Let's find out. So first things first, let's see the specs. All the phones mentioned in this video will be linked to in the description. If you're thinking of buying any of these phones, please do use my link. Now, as you have got the specs out of the way, let's talk a little more in detail about the phone. And in the end, I'll tell you if it's worth it to buy the Lenovo Vibe K5 Note in 2017. Firstly, let's look into the good part, the pros. First we have the camera. Not something to be wowed about, but yeah, the camera of the K5 Note does take some decent pictures in good lighting conditions. It has a 13MP rear shooter with f2.2 aperture and an 8MP front camera for selfies. The front camera also clicks some good selfies, but only in good lighting condition. Next we have storage. Internal storage on the K5 Note is pretty normal, as all smartphone companies are releasing their phones with 32GB of internal storage. But this is a plus point over its closest rival, the Moto G4, which went with 16GB of internal storage at the same price point. So that's why it's on the pros list, but barely. Next we have the battery. The K5 Note has a 3500 mAh battery pack. It's not the best at the price point, but it does a decent job. You will get through the day with a single charge, that is, with moderate usage. If you're a heavy user like me, you will find yourself looking for a power brick in the middle of the day. If you're a moderate user, you'll get along just fine. Next we have RAM management. The Lenovo Vibe K5 Note has a 3GB variant and as well as a 4GB variant. Nonetheless, the RAM management on the K5 Note is quite good. It holds 6 to 7 light apps in memory and 2 to 3 heavy games. But one thing I noticed is that it restarts games. As you can see, it restarted COC, but this happens like after 30 seconds. Lastly, we have the Fingerprint Scanner. This is another standardized feature on most smartphones, but at this price point, the Fingerprint Scanner provided by Lenovo is indeed top-notch. It detected my fingerprint 4 out of 5 times, and trust me, that is really good. Now let's move on to the bad part, the cons. First up is the processor. The K5 Note is powered by the octa-core 1.8 GHz MediaTek processor. And let's face it, it is no match for the Snapdragon 617 or 652 chipset. This definitely is a con in my opinion. Next is storage. Remember how I said in the beginning that storage is on the pros list but barely? This is why I said that. The Lenovo Vibe K5 Note doesn't have a dedicated SD card slot, it has a hybrid slot, which means you gotta choose from dual SIM cards or a SIM card and an SD card, and this for me is a huge letdown. When most phones in this price range went with the Adreno series, be it the Moto G4 that has the Adreno 405 or the Lenovo 2 which has the Adreno 510 or the very popular Redmi Note 4 which has the Adreno 506. The Lenovo went with the Mali T860 MP2, which is again no match for the Adreno series, and worst, it can't handle heavy games. Next we have the OS. The Lenovo Vibe K5 Note is currently running on Android 6.0. Lenovo has its own skin that is pure UI on top of Android 6.0. It is a bit of a heavy skin. The phone lags a bit if used for a long period of time. It would be better if Lenovo would keep the UI as close to stock as possible, but this is not the case over here. Lastly, we have camera performance in low light. The camera is another aspect where Lenovo has to improve. It does click good pics in daylight, but that is not the case in low light. There is too much of noise and compared to the competition, it's just not up to the mark, but I found it does click better pics than Redmi Note 3. All in all, the Lenovo Vibe K5 Note is a good phone. I'll give it a rating of 7 out of 10 on an overall basis, but I don't think it's worth to buy in 2017. Because there are many new phones lined up, including one which is already out in the market, the Redmi Note 4. Lenovo has also launched the K6 Note. That's all guys for this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.